Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the February 11th, 2025 meeting of the O'Fallon, Missouri Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Elder?
Here.
Mr. Huster?
Present.
Ms. Paul is excused. Ms. Snyder is excused. Ms. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Wilson?
Here.
Councilmember Thompson is excused. Councilmember Roth?
Here.
Okay. We are going to next move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Kathy, would you like to lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. So, unfortunately, we do not have a quorum tonight, so we're not going to be able to approve the agenda or approval of the previous meeting minutes, which are items D and E on our agendas. But we can go through the rest of the agenda, so that brings us to citizen comments. Are there any comments tonight from the crowd? All right. No comments from the crowd tonight. Moving on. Item G, we're going to go right into the divisional reports. So we're going to start with the Parks report.
Thank you, Scott.
You bet.
A couple things. I put the packet of the full report on the dais there for you. But staff completed the Missouri Parks and Recreation Association Region 4 maintenance rodeo. If you remember the last couple of years, we've been sending staff to the maintenance rodeo. It's a great opportunity to get team members connected with other departments in other cities. You know, they meet each other, they show off their skills. So, and just to give you some of the placements that were replaced. So the zero-turn mowers, Bobby Myers placed third, and Tyler Fenwald placed fourth. The backpack blowers, Luke Bornhop placed second, Zach Miller placed third. Project Assembly, which was Drew Idler and Tyler Robinson, they placed second. Landon Johnson and Tony Bazzelli placed third. And then the overall teams, we placed fourth out of 18 teams. So good job to them, guys.
I'm assuming that's what all these pictures are.
Yes. So in your packet, you'll see a bunch of the photos of the competitions and things like that. So
You said 18? I was going to ask 18 teams?
there was 18
That's great.
teams.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. How long has that been going on?
I guess when we were first notified, I know at least 5 years. It may be even longer. Craig may know. He was on that committee.
It actually started on the Kansas City side. They've been doing it for about 10 years. And
Okay.
now a couple of the regions of the Missouri Parks and Recreation Associations, they've taken it over. So, yeah, I think Bill's right, about 5 or 6 years or so they've been doing it.
That's great.
Also, staff continues to work on the ball fields up at Ozzie and Westhoff, and getting them ready for spring. They're doing a lot of repairs to the batting cages, the backstops, and the L screens. Last month, I also stated that we would have a delay opening for Fords and Walt Park. If you remember, I stated that we'd probably try to get it open by the end of the month. Staff was actually able to get the park open by January 21st, so it was still delayed, but we still beat our target date by 21 days. We still have a good amount of lights and stuff in the trees right now, just because of the conditions of the turf and we can't get out there. So over the next several months, as condition gets better, we'll get those out of the trees. So also the disc golf in Fort Drummond Park is now open as of January 31st. And at O'Day Park, staff was working on the playground, the rope climber. So we replaced all the seating inside the rope climber. The construction team out at O'Day also replaced all the wayfinding signs out there. The original wayfinding signs were actually constructed by Bill Gardner. So we actually got that all replaced and done. The orange safety curbing was reinstalled at O'Day. So at the playground on the athletic turf or the synthetic turf, there is a hill that actually goes down. It's pretty steep, but since everything is ADA compliant up top, we wanted to put in this very highly visible turf. It's almost like a curb, like a bumper. It just allows people that are in wheelchairs or that they're not going to just trip down the hill. So that was all upgraded this year, and we got that redone. And then I wanted to also mention that next month I will actually be on vacation, so I won't be here for the Parks and Rec Board. But Kathy, I am going to have Bob. I'm going to reach out to Bob and have him come out and give his report and updates for the landscaping side and give his color scheme for the flowers. So I know you like that and for the spring. So if I can get Bob, he's kind of under the weather right now. So, and then lastly, I just wanted to congratulate Councilmember John and welcome him to the Parks and Recreation Board as our liaison.
Welcome aboard.
And with that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Go ahead.
About Zumwalt and the lights that are coming down later, how and when are you going to do that? Don't you have to use the cherry pickers to do that? I mean, is that going to interfere with traffic and, you know, how's that going to be taken care of?
Majority of the lights, I believe, that are still left up in the trees is on the turf area. So it's not going to, you know, impede the traffic or anything. Everything that I believe we can get from the roadway, we have. But the booms will, as we get them off there. We also have bucket trucks here in the city that we own that we can get some of these out. You know, we want to get them out of the trees just because, you know, it's not good for the trees and we want to get them out. But also for the tourism festival group, they're expensive, so they want them back. So we want to try to get those out and save as many as we can. So.
Thank you.
Bill, I've got a comment or actually a question / suggestion, and maybe this is a conversation we can have even offline, but I'll bring it up now anyway. You know, since we've got, I think, someone next month that'll be joining the advisory board, right, Craig? And then we've got another vacant position that hopefully will fill soon. It would be nice if maybe we could schedule a tour of parks facilities with the board members. You know, find a date where we could all, if people are willing to carve out a, you know, hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it takes to, and it doesn't have to be every one of them. And maybe there's a other system or cadence where we could go to 1 or 2 every quarter or something. But I think it would be really good because you present all these things and, you know, I'm sure we all from time to time get to these facilities and parks, but probably not, you know, as consistent clearly as what your staff does and what you do. And I think it would be a good idea to, you know, kind of give us an opportunity to literally be standing there while you guys go over some things and talk about the park and what's maybe gone on over the past, you know, year. And that might even invoke even some deeper, I'll say, engagement from the board. So just a suggestion that maybe we can think about that and talk about it.
Do you remember the last time we did that, Bill?
Believe it was O'Day, wasn't it? Is that when
Yeah,
we
we
did?
did
We held
O'Day,
we held a
right.
meeting out there after we had the
Yes.
ribbon cut.
Couple of meetings out there in O'Day.
So that was 2020.
And before that, we went around to all of the parks.
Right, that's
and
exactly-
got information about all of the parks from staff. It was very interesting. It was a whole different board than I think Kathy and I were the only ones that were there.
Well, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Would it be,
very helpful. It was nice to do that.
would
Okay.
it be possible to convene some of these meetings at some of the other facilities that we have, just so that we can see them and the board can be there?
I think we have held meetings at off-site before. It doesn't happen very
During
often
COVID we
because
did, yeah.
we
Maybe
like to televise it for the rest of the residents. But we have had meetings off-site before.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's great. Knowing that has been done in the past, I think, you know, maybe bringing that back into the fold here would be a good idea.
I'm
Awesome,
assuming
okay.
when the weather gets warmer.
Yeah, right, we're not doing it yet tomorrow.
You sure you don't want to do it tomorrow?
No, I'm good with that.
We can help bring the lights down.
Yeah, right. Okay, fantastic. Any more questions on Parkside? If not, Craig, turn to you for a recreation report.
Camp information for 2025 goes out on February 15th. It's on the website and it'll go through social media. Camp registration is March 1st for residents of O'Fallon and Renaud members. We're starting to get, as you're aware, we're getting scholarships from O'Fallon Community Foundation for swim lessons and half the cost of camp. Camp is, we've done some swim lessons. Camp's starting up, so we're getting some applications for scholarships for camps. Deadline to turn them in is February 21st. We have a new session of tumbling and taekwondo, which will begin the week of February 24th. We have a new session of Rec Explorers and Core Kids that begins March 3rd. The senior fair will be held on March 19th at the Trigg Banquet Center. It's from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. The event is free to the public and we'll be accepting vendors through March 1st. Spring Slam registration is open. That's a after-hours teenage pickleball tournament.
Oh, that should be interesting.
It should be interesting. The trip to the Muni this season, they'll be eating at the Culver Pavilion at the Muni and getting a tour of the Muni stage. Shows that they're planning on is Jersey Boys and Evita. We're ramping up sponsorship meetings this month. Councilwoman Ragsdale has been very helpful in connecting to business leaders in the community, and we're starting to get a few new businesses signed up to be a part of all the events that we put on. We're working closely with communications to get the new website transferred over and updated. It's been a bit of a process trying to get all that put together, but communications has been working well with us and we hope to get that completed soon. Communications has also worked to revamp the quarterly newsletter and recreation guide. We've made some big changes. We hope that it highlights the programs a lot more. Currently, we have 81 lifeguards on staff. They're reaching out to contact 56 lifeguards that are currently kind of in limbo, and we're trying to decide whether they're able to come back or not. That'll be a big impact on how many guards we need to find to fill out the entire roster. We have a new pump and motor actually, is being replaced for the Renaud Center. It's the main circulation pump. That'll close the pool for 2 or 3 days, but that'll be set up for next week or the week after that. We have concrete repairs scheduled for the south side of the Lazy River at Alligators Creek. That'll happen in April. Spring sports registration is open and in full swing. We've gotten some email blasts out, and just to let everybody know, time frame for that. We're starting a pickleball league. That'll be run on Wednesday and Thursday evenings from 7 to 8:30. We're going to get help from the VETA instructors that does the instruction for our pickleball classes. And then we're also looking for an instructor for our Big Shots basketball. That's the little bitty kids basketball. We're trying to find an instructor so we can have that program. It's been a good program for the past few years. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Craig. Any questions on the recreation report?
Greg, are we going to do the park passes again this year for the?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, they were a big success last year, and Kristen, who's our community engagement recreation manager, she does a great job with it. She's made a few tweaks with it, but yeah, those are ready to go out.
Thank you.
Okay. Looks like there's no more questions. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate it. And third item on item G divisional reports is the tourism and festival report. Is there an update there?
Yep. It's short and sweet. This is kind of their, I would say, downtime. That's not really their downtime. It's their prep time for a lot of the events that they do. Whiskers and Wags, they're reaching out to vendors and non-for-profit agencies for that event. Jammin', we've had a lot of requests for bands this year. We can only, fit in so many. But they're finalizing the bands and making sure they have the food vendors all wrapped up. Heritage and Freedom Fest, rock headliner is Neon Trees. That was announced last month. Country, we're still awaiting some paperwork. It's been kind of we've had a lot of choices to kind of sift through, and I think we're trying to finalize that here soon. This is the time of year where they're finalizing all the contracts for rentals and all the agreements for entertainment and everything. They're working on that. They hope to have that done here in the next couple weeks or so.
All right, I appreciate it. Quick question I have on that. You said requests for bands. Does that mean bands are coming to us to request to get a time slot, or we're going to them? What does that mean?
Especially for Jammin', I mean, we use bands for a lot of different events and everything, but the big one really is Jammin' through the summer. Yes, we are a venue that a lot of these bands want to play at. So Jenna, who does all that, gets a lot of requests. So we kind of just sift through all of them to see which ones kind of fit what we have. And sometimes the bands are too big for us to hold. We only have so much space there's a lot of work that goes through trying to find the bands or decide which bands we want to use. For some reason, they've gotten my phone number, so I'm getting a ton of, which is a shame because all I do is pass them off to Jenna. But we are a venue that people want to come and play at. Yeah.
Well, that's what I took that statement as, so that's kind of exciting, right? Awesome. All right, any other comments, questions? Okay, next item on the agenda is old business. Doesn't look like we have any old business to discuss unless somebody has something that they want to bring up. Okay. All right. New business. Tonight, we're going to talk about the O'Fallon Venues and Weddings presentation, and I think we do have a presenter. So step right up. The time is yours, and do a quick introduction, and we're anxious to see what you have.
All right. Well, good evening. My name is Allie McCullough, and I am a recreation specialist, basically with the venue operations for the city. I have been with the City of O'Fallon with the actual venues and weddings for 4 years now, and a little over 2 years in my current position. I oversee a variety of venues throughout the city, including O'Day Lodge, the Amphitheater, Crackle Civic Center, and the Renaud Center, pavilions, sports fields, and our outdoor wedding sites. We have a standardized rental procedure that ensures consistency across all of our bookings. The O'Day Lodge has become our most sought-after venue. Currently, we are accepting reservations for 2026 as we have pretty much booked up most of our Saturdays in 2025. This past October was our busiest month to date, with every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday fully booked. We added some Thursday weekday rentals as well, which we don't normally do, but we took them on. This success generated over $20,000 in revenue, and I believe it was a testament to our streamlined rental process, effective expectation management, and our excellent staff communication. The Crackle Civic Center is ideal for more intimate gatherings, such as showers, graduations, birthday parties. However, it's also suitable for receptions, and we've seen an uptick in those rentals over the last year. The center offers 3 rooms, each accommodating up to 50 people, or a combined space of up to 150 people. O'Day Rentals saw a growth in 2024, rising from 77 to 81 rentals, with revenue increasing from $110,000 to $125,000. This success was definitely driven by our large October and the addition of a few weekday rentals throughout the year. While Krekel rentals experienced a slight dip, performances remained consistent with previous years, generating an average annual revenue of about $40,000. Over the past year, we have enhanced the Renaud rental experience by simplifying the rental process, adding new options, and improving communication both internally and externally. Our focus on clear expectations ensures smoother events. So we kind of updated all of our lock-in across the board. This one right here is actually old, but we've kind of broken it up to 100 people, up to 150 people, and up to 250. We noticed we needed a lot more staff for the up to 250, so it kind of eased our side of things. We also added after hours, which is a 2-hour rental that someone can rent, obviously after our hours on Saturdays and Sundays. And we have specific time frames that they can rent, and they can rent the whole facility. They can rent a multipurpose room, a pool time, and the gym. And that's all done, obviously, with nobody else but their group in the building. So those have picked up in popularity for sure. I also oversee all the park pavilion rentals, wedding site, campsites, and all the sports fields. Our venues and wedding staff consists of lead rental assistants. They majority work during the week. They answer our reservation emails, conduct tours, and pre-event meetings, reaching out to renters, any information about their upcoming rentals, stay organized for our weekend events. Our rental assistants actually work the events. They make sure that renters adhere to the venue rules and help with anything venue related, such as technology with the TVs, mics, sound at the amphitheater as well. Our custodians deep clean the venues, set up, break down for all the rentals, work the events, managing trash, changing layouts, cleaning up spills, and they are also responsible for setting out and breaking down all the amphitheater chairs. And they give support to our rental assistants during that time frame. And with that, that's all I had. Does anybody have any questions?
Go ahead, I got a couple too.
You had the cost of the O-Day and of the Renaud Center, but no cost of Krekel.
No, it was the cost of, oh, you mean on the thing? Yeah. I was changing prices at that time. I just didn't have the same shop for that one.
So what does it cost to rent a room there for? And do you rent it by the half day and the day like you do O-Day?
Yeah, so the same time frames. You can do a full day from 10 a.m. to 11, or you can do the half day, which is 10 a.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. to 11. There are 3 rooms. Room 1 and 2 do not have kitchen access, so they're a little bit cheaper. I don't know off the top of my head because it's broken out by resident and non-resident what the exact price is. And then multipurpose room 3 has the access to the kitchen, so that one's a little bit more and requires a little bit more of a deposit. But
Have you ever had weddings there?
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely something that has, over the last year, we've seen a big increase in.
And when you were talking about the Renaud Center, you were saying lock-in rentals. Is that where somebody takes over the whole building?
So that's usually for schools. So they'll come to us and rent the building usually from 10 p.m. to 3 or 4 a.m. And actually have their graduation lock-ins or graduation after parties.
And on the weddings at O'Day, do they have the access to if they rent the whole day, do they have outside and inside? And do you ever do more than one at a time?
No, so we don't ever rent the amphitheater and the lodge to 2 different people. So it would be up to the person that's rented the lodge to then rent the amphitheater. We mostly have an amphitheater rental with the lodge. It's kind of like an all-in-one. So the ceremony happens out at the amphitheater, and then they come inside for the reception. We do have where they just have the reception, and then they kind of branch out to the outside, bringing like small lawn games and stuff like that, and use the ground area. But yeah, you're welcome.
Those were good questions. Two of them were ones I was going to ask. Yeah.
I'm really good at questions.
So I'll kind of jump on the one about O'Day. I was curious, like, because the capacity was 150, right, for the indoor?
For O'Day, it's 250.
250.
150 is Crackle.
Oh, okay. That's 250 today. Okay, I misunderstood that.
We can
Okay.
do
So
up
it's a
to-
pretty large crowd. That's a pretty good
Yeah.
size wedding party then event at that
So
point.
250 is usually where we're comfortable for, like, to allow them to have a head table and like enough
Yep.
room for them to have a dance area and that kind of thing. We can have up to 300 if you're doing like a seated, everybody at a table, no dancing, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm curious, how do you, are there issues ever with controlling that, just with?
Normally, no. We're very big on expectation management. Like, that's kind of how I rule everything. Everybody knows we're very transparent with how we run all the rentals, and we don't really have a lot of problems. We have had some issues, not very many, but yeah, my staff has been really good about
Yeah.
making sure that they communicate with me if something is over their head.
Right.
And
How late can they go?
to 11 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And then the gates at O'Day close at 11:30, so they have like a 30-minute buffer to kind of
To get
move
out.
everyone. Yeah.
Or else you're sleeping there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great report. I appreciate it.
One more
Yeah,
question.
please.
For your average wedding at O'Day, what's the number of staff that you are required to have?
So I usually have a rental assistant that is there usually from about 9:30. They get there about 10. The renters get there about 10. So the staff shows up about a half an hour before, and then they're usually there pretty much the bulk of the day. They leave around 4:30, and then the custodial staff and another rental assistant for the evening comes in around 4 o'clock.
So it's minimal staff. You
Yeah.
have, what about security? Do you ever have security? Is that,
We do not. We do use dispatch if we ever feel the need. That's very rare as well.
thank you.
No problem.
I guess that's it, Ally. Thank you for coming tonight and doing that presentation for us. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Okay, well, we have zipped through this tonight. Last item on the agenda here is good for the good of the order. So, anybody would like to jump in and make any comments here before we?
I don't know if I said it in the last meeting, but I think the snow removal staff from the last snowfall did a fabulous job, because that was a lot of work. And I thought those people, they just kept coming through.
driveway.
Hmm?
They didn't do my driveway.
They didn't do your driveway? Oh, should have had my grandson.
They were really slacking.
Should have had my grandson over. But no, they just, because they kept coming through and making sure, and they just kept going. I thought they did a fabulous job. And I
agree.
saw yesterday, they started, they've done even before, started spraying yesterday, getting ahead of it. So I think they've been doing a terrific job this winter.
Appreciate that.
No, I don't have anything.
I volunteered at the 2 dances that we had this last weekend. They don't call it the daddy-daughter dance anymore. I don't remember what they call it, but they had one on Friday night, one on Saturday night. And it was so much fun. The little kids are just absolutely adorable. And it's just fun to just be there and watch these kids. If you have never done it, it's really fun. But I wanted to comment mostly on the lifeguards were the volunteers for the Renard Center. And they had a really good time. They were dancing, and they had fun with the kids too. They were a good group of kids that had fun and did a good job, and kind of played with it. So anyway, I was impressed with the young people. They looked nice, they had fun, and so it was a very fun event both nights.
Awesome, thank you. I don't really have anything to add either. Unfortunately, I missed last month, and it's that time of year where, things are a little quiet, at least from the observation standpoint, but I know a lot of things are happening behind the scenes, and probably about now or middle of February on is when things really start to ramp up for both Bill and Craig. So I know you guys are going to be busy, and I'll pile on the snow comment. My philosophy has always been when the snow piles along the side of the road and the parking lots are really big, obviously, we had a lot of snow, but they did a good job, too, piling it up, and those piles are still here.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. So, okay. Well, if we don't have any other comments, I will see. Does anybody make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Elder?
I have a second. Okay, can we officially even do that? No, we cannot. Okay, well, we're going to call it a night. All right, thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned.